Here we are. Hey, everyone. How's y'all doing today? Oh, let me just get that. Hold on one second. Turn that down so we can't hear ourselves. No, something's weird. Let me see. Oh, there it is. I'm just checking for the good old. Already got 2 thumbs up. Thank you very much. Good old Final Cut TV and Coffee. We're just going to see if there's any Final Cut Pro news. It's been kind of radio silence, hasn't it? Another one. Excellent, excellent. It's been like radio silence as far as the Final Cut Pro thing is happening. So let me just make sure we got that over there on that platform. Let me just see. Yep, that's good. That's good. And where else are we? We're going to do this. Bring that up. Hello from Jamaica. Hello, sir. Very good. Not seeing X. It's showing up on my end. It's showing up here that it's broadcasting to where it's supposed to be. I'll just do a screen grab for you to show you. According to this, we have 11 people watching over right now on X. Let me just see. Let me just see this here. Here we go. Black. I love this. Here's a warning from Final Cut. I'll take that off for right now. Here's what we have over there right now. We have 11 people on X, 13 on YouTube, and they don't have the amount of people watching on Facebook, but it's broadcasting over there. We just got started, so it'll be a little bit before people typically catch up. I've been drinking a lot of ice water recently. Okay, here we're getting started in our discussion about X. Let me see, what is that? I've discovered 2 things recently. Well, number 1, if you use magnetic mask, you have to use ProRes. Otherwise, the rendering takes way too long. That's very interesting. What's the second thing? 2, when I stop recording in Blackmagic and start again, must be an issue with that. That's weird. Huh. Wasn't showing up before. Is it showing up now at X? I mean, I'm showing 14 people watching over there live. Oh, it's on X now. There you go. There you go. Wasn't showing up to begin with. So what I typically do for X is I do both the normal X streaming live, which they have now, and then I also put up the YouTube link. So you have either one. You can watch on either any way that you want. But I haven't, look, let me just pull this up. Blackmagic forgets which format I've chosen and records in H.264, not the chosen ProRes LT. That's interesting. That sounds like you should be reporting that to Blackmagic. Grant Petty over there, our good friend at Blackmagic, right? It sounds like a Blackmagic issue. So here's one of the things. I have a count up timer. This is the amount of days since we've seen Final Cut Pro 11. It's been 79 days, 19 hours, and 11 minutes. So almost 80 days since Final Cut Pro 11 was introduced back at the Creative Summit in November, and it's been radio silence ever since then. Nothing from the Final Cut Pro team or any notice. Logic has had 2 updates since then, Logic Pro, but Final Cut Pro, there's been nothing, radio silence, no communication with your customers, 0 for 80 days. It's going on 3 months here, another 10 days. I had to run Send to X recently, crashes Final Cut Pro 11. Well, that's no good. Converted 7 project to 10.3 instead, and then to 11. There you go. Yeah, so this is why we need the bug fix. There's definitely stuff going on in Final Cut Pro 11 that needs fixing. There's definitely something in Final Cut Pro 11 that needs fixing. So why is it taking 80 days? That's highly, highly unusual for a bug fix. Even if it's a major update, it's still, let me change this so, I'm going to do this. Get that reflection out of my glasses. Oh, where is that reflection coming from? I thought it was the MacBook Pro, but apparently it's not. I guess it's just reflecting off of the main screen. It's unusual. Anyway, it's been kind of radio silent for 80 days with Final Cut Pro. Now, I've been using Final Cut Pro 11 since it came out, just about, updated to Sequoia, and I haven't had that many problems, but there's been a couple. I had some performance issues when I had multicam clips with lots of titles. When I edit in another language and need the subtitles on another angle, huge waiting time. Okay, that could be just the amount of clips. I don't know how that works in a multicam. There should be some improvements. Now, the fact that they're taking a long time to get any update out and they're not communicating with the users, which I think they should be. They should post on social media somewhere. It says, hey, we're working on a bug fix for Final Cut Pro 11. And that's all you have to say. But right now, we don't know anything. There's no communication with the users. I've been drinking a lot of ice water recently. A lot of ice water. I like ice water rather than just plain old water. I'm not sure what you like. Let's go out here and look and see what's going on in the backyard. All right, nothing out there right now, but look at the blue skies and the cloudy skies. The snow is just melting. We probably had about 6 to 8 inches of snow over 3 different snow periods of snow. Let's see. Turn that off. Turn that off. Here we go. So we probably had, yesterday this whole backyard was covered with snow, but today it's kind of warm. I got my other glasses on. I got to do a 37 degrees Fahrenheit. So the birds have been eating at the bird suet, and the squirrels have been eating the food that drops on the ground because they can't get up to that suet cage. They have a squirrel guard. The amount of security updates in iOS and macOS may explain the lack of Final Cut Pro updates recently. They had to quit after a few in the 0.3 release, both operating systems. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that Final Cut Pro is that dependent on security updates. But Logic Pros had 2. Logic Pros had 2 updates. Why wouldn't they be concerned about the security updates if that was an issue? I mean, we don't know. I'm not saying that we know anything. It's just curious. It's it'll be 80 days, 81 days, 82 days, almost 3 months with no bug fix update. Thank you for the thumbs up. No bug fix update. But the main thing is no communication. You're leaving us radio silence. You don't even communicate with your users. You should put up a tech note, post on YouTube or something, hey, send it to me. Send it to me with permission to reveal to the public, and I will tell the audience what's going on. Last week's show, we had over 1,000 people between Facebook, X, and YouTube. So send a report to me. Final Cut Pro team, Final Cut Pro team, not Final Cut Protein, Final Cut Pro team. Have somebody send me a little report that I can report on Saturday what's going on. I mean, I'm sure you're working on it, but it's just curious why it's taking so long. Compared to normal, in 2024, was it 2024 or 2023, you had updates out in 2 weeks, bug fix update out in 2 weeks. Normal is about a month when you release a major number. A normal bug fix a lot of times comes within a month, but you had 2 of them that were out within 2 weeks. And 80 days is a long time with no information coming. Maybe they're just working on 11.0.1 or 11.0.2. Maybe they're skipping over just a pure bug fix and going to jump right to a bug fix plus a couple of features. Hard to tell. It's hard to tell. Let me see what I have over here. What is this? Oh, that's that. I don't want that. This is something that I viewed last week. It's the dock kit on the new Insta360 2 Pro. I'm filming this with my iPhone 16 Pro Max and the brand new Insta360 Flow 2 Pro. It has a lot of improved features. The tracking is superb with the native app, but one of the things I'm going to talk about right now is Apple Dock Kit. Apple Dock Kit allows 200 different apps to use the camera to follow the subject. Like right now. Right now I'm talking to you straight on, but if I walked over here and I'm on a FaceTime call, the camera will actually rotate. The gimbal will rotate because of Apple Dock Kit. So I can recenter it back here. It works in cinematic mode. It works in regular video mode, and I think slow-mo. This is the only gimbal that has this. The only one. Very easy to hook up. There's a lot of other features. There's a dozen videos on YouTube to take you through all the features. I'm not going to do that here. I just wanted to demonstrate how the dock kit works. If I'm on a Zoom call, automatically follows and centers. Very, very cool, both Apple for the dock kit and InstaFlow 2 Pro. I'm filming. So, can it do a complete 360 rotate? Yes. Not only can it do a 360 degree rotate, there is no stop. There is no stop for it. Turn that down. Hold on a second. It can keep rotating around and around and around and around. It never stops if you don't want it to. So let me just check on, make sure everything's going well there. What is weird? Let me just check on that 1 second. Got it. Just wanted to check, make sure the audio was okay. So yeah, the Insta360 2 Pro, Insta360 Flow 2 Pro can rotate 360 degrees and never stop. It can keep rotating around and around and around and around and around. There's no artificial stop. There's no mechanical stop. And you control that. There's a joystick. You can control the speed and stuff. So it's a very cool gimbal. I'm selling my original Insta360. I haven't got around to it yet, but I will. Now, I'm trying to figure out what is that on there that has, That must be that one. There we go. Subscribe, 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 of course. So have I missed anything? Have you tried the Belkin Stage? It uses DocKit 2. I'm not sure what the Belkin Stage is. Is that a gimbal? Or is that some... Oh, that's the desktop version that rotates with DocKit. DocKit's pretty cool because first off, this is the only gimbal that supports DocKit. This is the only one that I know of. When you engage DocKit, any app that you use, if you have FaceTime, if you have regular video recording, if you have whatever, it'll track you. It'll move, the gimbal will move and follow you, no matter what. It'll follow you across FaceTime, if you're doing a FaceTime, if you're doing anything, regular camera app, it'll track you. Now, it's not quite as sophisticated as the one built into the Insta360 app, but it's pretty cool. Mark says, yes, it is that stationary one that's on the thing. Well, I'm not going to buy that because I don't use it that much, but I use it with this new Insta360 Flow 2 Pro. It's got a lot of words, too many words. Insta360, too many words. Just call it the Insta360 2 Pro. That's fine. Insta360, I don't know what Flow means because it's gimbal, I guess. What's up with the Final Cut Pro team? Well, I'm going to say this again. What's up with the Final Cut Pro team? Because the transcription always says protein. Final Cut Protein. Final Cut Pro team. I don't know. The Logic Pro team has 2 updates. Final Cut Pro team's 0. Are they working on something? I'm sure they are. Maybe they're adding features back. I mean, that could be some features. Maybe that's why it's taking long. It would seem strange to me if this was such a drastic bug fix that they couldn't fix it like they normally do in 30 days or whatever, but obviously something's up. For the most part, I'm really enjoying Final Cut Pro 11. Although I transitioned my big project that I have, big film project, from 10.8.1 or 2 to Final Cut Pro 11. And it was weird because one of the plugins that's loaded properly in the Motion Templates folder didn't link up. I had a bunch of subtitles for a music video, and it didn't link up. And I got it, the titles there, but the existing titles didn't link up. So now I had to go back through manually and change them, probably about 24. That's kind of weird. Final Cut Protein, Breakfast of Champion Editors. There you go. Of course. Let's see what's going on over there. What's going on? I don't know. I can't imagine everybody's still on Christmas vacation. It's February the 1st. And it's like I showed you, it's 90 days, 78, 80 days. So I don't know what's up. I do not know what is up. You can go to this Final Cut FCPX.tv. I'm not going to change that domain. I've had it forever. And there's a count up timer. Where's Final Cut Pro 11.0.1 or 0.2 or whatever they're going to call it? There's the count up timer. 79 days, 19 hours, 25 minutes, almost 80 days. Radio silence in Final Cut Pro land. I don't know why. I do not know why. Does anybody have any Final Cut Pro news? Anything, any tips that you want to share? Any bugs that people report the bugs, of course, but there's nothing really out in the world of Final Cut Pro at this point. I mean, it's just radio silence. They do this every once in a while. I would be pleasantly surprised. I have not heard anything yet, but I would be pleasantly surprised if there is a Final Cut Pro presentation at NAB this year, which is the first week of April. I'd be very surprised. But the last 2 years have been dead. Final Cut Pro has been dead at NAB. There's been no activity whatsoever. Zero. This year they have the new Mac Mini and stuff. What do you think about Motion VFX Design Studio subscription? I don't like the subscription model. I don't like the subscription model, and I'm not going to pay for that. I would not. So that's what I think about it. I don't care what the quality is. I'm not going to add another subscription. The subscriptions are like this. All over the place. Subscriptions. I'm tired of subscriptions. A little bit. I have a few subscriptions that I do, of course. Ecamm Live is one, but I get a really steep discount on this. I'm glad I did. I bought the original version of Ecamm Live, which was a standalone app. And because I had a legacy version of it, they give me a steep discount on the yearly subscription. I think I pay maybe $100, something like that. And I get 240 hours of streaming live. I think the normal price is $240 to $300. So I get a steep discount on that, which is really, really cool. And this is different than an application subscription because this, I'm sending my single file up to Ecamm Live. Whatever magic they're doing, they're then splitting that up and sending it out to Facebook, X, YouTube. So they have that's an ongoing cost for them every month, that additional streaming. So I don't mind paying a subscription with something that goes on like with a streaming service because I know that's necessary. And I don't mind some other subscriptions either. There's a few that I have. But the subscriptions that I like, let me just close this one app. The way I like the subscription model is this, and I have 3 or 4 apps that do it. I have CleanShot X, which is really good. I have Everweb, which is my web design software. And also I have iMazing. So all of them offer a perpetual license, which I have, and for subscription, you pay for updates. Also, what's the other one that I have like that? There's another one that I have, Topaz Video AI. So you pay for the 1 year of updates. At the end of the 1 year, the version of software that you have keeps working. In all 4 of those cases, it keeps working at the last update level that you have. And you can hold on to that for a year if you want to with no updates. It'll continue to work. But if you get an update that you want, you have to pay for another year of updates, and then you have a whole nother year of updates. So I don't think I go any of those right exactly when they're due. I always wait. Oh, Waves plugins is another one. If you don't get the Waves update plan, at some point your updates will stop. But the Waves plugins keep on working. That's 5 different apps that I use with that, if you want to call it a subscription or pay for the updates version, whatever. 5 different apps that I have that don't stop working when your 1 year runs out. They continue to work at the level that you're at. That's the best. That's absolutely the best way to do it. They had a perfect chance to win over CapCut users since you still can't get on the App Store. Give us animated audio title captions. You still can't get CapCut? I'm surprised. I thought that was back online. I'm kind of surprised you can't get it. I mean, CapCut does some pretty cool stuff. Don't get me wrong. It does some pretty, modern, whatever, cartoonish titles and stuff. But they have a 47-page EULA, End User License Agreement. 47 pages. 47 pages online of their End User License Agreement. In order to use the software, you have to agree to their EULA. I'm not going to do that. I think it's deleted. You can't get it or TikTok. Well, I guess it's coming back. Here's a nice comment. Richard, I reached out to you a few weeks ago about my problem I was having with Sequoia 1522 and my OWC HD. You assured me that OWC support was really good, and you were right. They've responded quite a few times, even though the ultimate fix was an Apple update. Was an Apple update to Sequoia 15.3, which resolved the problem. So thank you. You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. My experience with OWC has been excellent. I've had to send a hard drive back. I got an old Thunderbolt hard drive, and the thing just kept ejecting, randomly ejecting. Now, since then, I've learned some things. Number one is if you have a Mac Mini and you're plugging in a Thunderbolt 5 device, use the Thunderbolt port furthest away from the power cord. I don't know why, but that is the ones that are closer to the power cord are more susceptible to ejecting disks. And it's not necessarily the disk maker. It has to do with Thunderbolt 5 connectivity and stuff. So that be aware of that. That's one of the things I learned. Meta is coming out with an editor with captions soon, so I would check it out, absolutely, as long as it's not a 47-page EULA. Does Final Cut Pro have a trim tool as precise as the one in Avid? It goes one frame at a time. You can trim one frame at a time. No, Avid is the king. Everybody says the way that Avid does trimming, people like it the best. Editors like it the best. So, but they have a trim mode. Final Cut Pro has a trim mode. You double click on an edit point and it'll open up for you. Or you just select the edit point and go one frame at a time, which I do a lot. I don't use the trim editor. I never got used to that, but perhaps they'll improve that in a future update. So what do you think? Why is it 80 days with no word from the Final Cut Pro team? Now, one of the things they told us, was it last year or the year before, they said that they hear us complain about their slow pace of updates. Sometimes it's glacial. It's absolutely glacial. Not recently, but for a while there it was like amazing that they were even working because there was no evidence that they were working. But in any event, they said they are going to update Final Cut Pro on their schedule because they know the best. Okay. Communicate with your customers. That's what I'm saying. Communicate with your customers. Say, hey, we're working on the next update to Final Cut Pro 11, and you'll be pleased when you get it. Or we're doing more things than we originally planned, or it's a little more difficult. Some of these fixes are a little more difficult because it's Final Cut Pro 11. So to answer your question, I think that Avid's is the king. The trim mode is the king. Everybody that uses that on a constant basis in Hollywood says that Avid's really good. So I'll take the word for it. I haven't used Avid for a long time. So here's something interesting. When I worked at the National Archives in Washington, I was a post supervisor, lead editor down there. I had my own suite up on the 5th floor. And we had a lot of different kind of events there. Well, this one event we had, David Rubenstein, is that his name? I think he owns the Baltimore Orioles now. He's a local millionaire, multimillionaire. He acquired a copy of an original, not a copy, he acquired an original Magna Carta. He had an original one. I think there may be, I don't know, dozens of them printed, maybe 100, but he had one of those. And he let the National Archives put it on display every so often. So back a while ago, he had an event celebrating, we're going to show the Magna Carta. And we had a special guest, Prince Charles. At that point, he was His Royal Highness Prince Charles. He's now the King of England. So I videotaped Prince Charles at the National Archives for about 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes. He was in this room. We were doing AV support. I was videotaping. So I videotaped the now King of England for about 10 or 15 minutes, just walking around, shaking people's hands, talking to people. And I've never put that video up, but I'm gonna some point this spring, I'm gonna edit it together and put that up. Put 5 minutes, 6 minutes up, or whatever. But it's pretty cool. I mean, it's that now that he's the king. Now that he's the king. What else is going on in the world of Final Cut Pro? Anything else? Let me go over here and check on, see what's going on anywhere. Blackmagic Design, FMC training, post chat. What's going on in post chat over there on X? I don't see. I don't see much happening anywhere. And this is interesting. Mission Impossible timeline. It was cut in Avid, I presume. Yes, Avid. Mission Impossible. Pretty cool. Pretty sophisticated timeline. Let's see. Okay, we're over there on there. So I've been very, very happy with my Mac Mini. One of the things that I've read about is, I guess the antenna's on the bottom of the Mac Mini, and that's where the fans are and stuff. And I've heard some of these docks that go over top, go under the Mac Mini are blocking the antenna, the Wi-Fi antenna, for some reason. So I've actually turned my Mac Mini on its side now. I don't have one of those docks, but I have a metal tray it was setting on. So I figured if those docks are blocking the Wi-Fi antenna, my metal tray might also be blocking the Wi-Fi antenna. So I set it on its side. I didn't really measure the speed or anything, but that's one of the odd little things about the Mac Mini. Other than that, the Mac Mini's been phenomenal. It has been phenomenal. I have a great, great setup. I got a M1 Max MacBook Pro, and I have the M4 Pro Mac Mini, which is doing a great job. Needing to find an equivalent to the bulge filter of 7 for 11. Glass lossage isn't a good substitute. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe one of our listeners can tell you. Bulge filter for Final Cut Pro 11. Maybe one of our listeners can chime in something that they're using, which happens a lot. There's a bird. That's a starling, I think. Starling. Enjoying the suet that we have out there for the birds. Enjoying all the suet. So if we get Final Cut Pro 11.0 0.1 or 0.2 or point whatever they want to call it this week. Every week it's the same. I just say, okay, well, is it coming out this week? And no, it didn't come out last week. If we get it this week, I'll come on do a live stream in the afternoon so everybody can talk about it, put your comments in. If it's just a simple bug fix, it won't be a very long live stream. But if it comes out this week or next week, I'll do a live stream in the afternoon. Other than that, we're just going to show up here Saturdays and talk about whatever we want. Has anybody else got a Mac Mini? The new Mac Mini? I got the Mac Mini Pro. I didn't get the big, I got the 2 terabyte hard drive and I'm doing fine. And I got the 4 terabyte hard drive from OWC Thunderbolt 5 one. So that will be good. Let me just go over here and see what's going on. Checking on YouTube. My Mac Mini is old and used for running 7. You mean Final Cut Pro 7? I guess you do. Not 10.7, right? Yeah, I have an original MacBook Pro that I have right here, and it runs Final Cut Pro 7.0.3 and Final Cut Pro 10.0. So it runs 2 versions of Final Cut Pro. It's the original MacBook Pro. It's like this thick. And there's no reason to sell it at this point. It's not worth much other than the fact that I did put a new battery in it, but I have the power supply. So if I need Final Cut Pro 7.0.3 and or Final Cut Pro 10.0. Now, if you remember, Final Cut Pro 10.0 had a project library. If you selected a project, you could go where the timeline is, and that project would be open across the bottom of your display. And you could see all the frames and everything, just like it was in a timeline. I think you just had to hover over the project or touch the project, and there was a project library. I really miss that, because right now you can't even scrub a project in the browser. You cannot scrub a project in the browser. You can scrub a compound clip, you can scrub a multicam clip, and you can scrub a project in the share window. You can scrub a project in the share window to just go through the thumbnail and you can scrub, but you can't scrub a project in the browser. It'd be this way on your screen. You cannot scrub a project in the browser. Can't do it after all these years. I'm really surprised that's not available yet. Now, I'm pleased with my Mac Mini quite a bit, so very, very cool. Here's our bird, starling. We had a lot of snow on the ground just yesterday. We had a couple inches and it's all gone away. There they are, the starlings. We get bluebirds. We get a woodpecker or two, different kind of woodpeckers come up here for that suet. There they are now. There's plenty of room for you guys. Just stay there. Plenty of room. Plenty of room for everybody. We have one suet basket there, and then we have a seed canister, and then we have another one that's not in view. All right. I'm just checking a couple more things while I'm here. I'll check a couple of Facebook groups and see what's going on over there, if anything. Let's see what's going on over there. Well, the main Final Cut Pro group on Facebook that we have, of course, is Final Cut TV and Coffee. I mean, Final Cut TV and radio. So just go to Final Cut TV radio, radio TV, TV radio, something like that. And there's 2,200 members there at this point. So if we have a discussion that goes on beyond the live stream, that's where we go. Oops, there we go. Our live stream is on there right now, of course. So if you want to join up there, you can. Also have Final Cut tips and tricks, Final Cut Pro tips and tricks, and a bunch of other Final Cut groups. But this is kind of the main one tied to the live stream. This is the main one. And then we have the Final Cut Pro community over there on X/Twitter, 252 members at this point over there. 252 members. What else do we have? Let me see. Final Cut. We have a bunch of other ones. The biggest one is Final Cut Tips and Tricks, and that has 13.5 thousand members. So that's pretty cool. Let me just check on these comments here. Very, very cool. So who knows what's going on? Are we going to see an update soon? No idea. I keep hoping every week. And like I said, the bug fix, the bug fixes have not been affecting me that much with 11 so far. I mean, I haven't been affected. I've had one that I had to do a workaround, but they know about it. Okay. Well, since there's not much to talk about, I'm going to get out of here unless you have something else you want to talk about before I head out. And if I don't see you during the week, if there's a release of Final Cut Pro or any other Final Cut Pro news, I'll come back. I'll try to come back on and do a live stream, in a later afternoon so we can talk about it and comment. But if there's nothing this week, then I'll see you next Saturday. Next Saturday. Yeah. Back, same bat time, same bat feature. Tried the captioning feature, had to make corrections for them for sentence detection. Yes, the captions are not perfect, but it's very fast. And everything that I've used for captioning, whether it's Blackmagic or whether it's this one, I have to go in and hand correct the captions. So that's something that you have to do. And I use Caption Animator from Philip and Greg, which does a great job. You can make your captions short and use any kind of title that you have on your machine. It's $20 in the App Store. Caption Animator. It converts those Final Cut captions into actual titles. You can choose the color, you can choose the font, you can choose the position, you can choose animated titles if you want to, and it'll do them all animated the same way. Still probably got to go and correct a couple, but that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Fantastic. Well, I am going to finish up here because there's not much to talk about. There's not much to talk about. If I don't see you during the week, I'll see you next Saturday, probably between 10 and 12 sometime. Just pay attention. Don't forget to subscribe over there at the YouTube channel. That's that one. And my YouTube channel name is @RichardTaylorTV. Facebook groups, Final Cut TV Radio. Those are all the places you can join in the fun during the week. Those are all the places you can join in the fun during the week. But I'm going to get out of here. And if I don't see you during the week, here's to the Final Cut Pro team. Final Cut Pro team. Thanks for Final Cut Pro 11, but maybe we can get an update. It's been 70 days, 80 days. Maybe this week, maybe next week. We'll have to see. I'm going to get out of here, everybody. You can talk to me on the Facebook groups over there on Twitter, either place. I have an Instagram account, but I don't do much there. Not there much. Talk to everybody later. Thanks for tuning in.